Hello, Jen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. It's so good to see you.
You too. Well, officially, I wanted to say thank you for coming on to my KatChat Podcast. And I'm
Sure.
going to
Thanks for the invite.
my interpreter, Marley. She will be signing for both of us. After we should carry on a casual conversation, have some joke, laugh, whatever happens down here.
Perfect.
All right. To start off the podcast, I want you to share your experience starting Heart of the Stars podcast on YouTube and how did it like become a TV show on the network Reveal? If I'm saying that correctly, please share.
Yeah, reveal. Yeah, so I just started out kind of doing what we're doing here, right? Just zooming and I really didn't realize how easy it was going to be to get some of the people on that I got on, and I was like, well, this is really fun. I love having these conversations with these people that I just love watching on, on television. So yeah, I got about, I guess it was like 16 interviews prior to the Romadrama event in West Palm. And and yeah, I wanted to start a podcast that was just really lighthearted and something that was just fun. And so when I got to the event in West Palm, there was a gentleman there who was the head of Reveal, the streaming network that the show is now on, and we had a meeting about a week after Ramadrama and offered me my own television show based on my podcast. So it was pretty crazy. And I was very excited. It was something that I've always wanted to have my own television show. It's what I went to school for. So it was like a dream come true, Kat. It was amazing. So, and it's continuing to be really just a great ride. So much fun.
Yes, and sure. I mean, I know was reading the background and everything you had like experience in filming, directing, and all of that. I was like, wow. I mean, really, the guy what probably I had no idea because I was tired. I was just focused on him only, along with other people I met there. But I was like, wow, she's getting there. I mean, wow. I mean, you're a mother, a wife, and living in Florida, and now a TV show. So how did that work with travel? I mean, how often, like, away from your family, especially your daughter? Because I know you have some kind of like routine or after special need, mom, you need to have a concrete routine. Yeah. But right now, with that podcast, oh, I'm like, at least not every day, So that at the end in class they high, I'm like, it depends on the timing. So I just wanted to hear more about how to work with travel. You got time to prep beforehand and during the traveling. Yeah, let's start with that.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because, you're very, very familiar with being a special needs mom and, not, and all moms have a lot going on their plate, but you're right. When you have a child who's autistic and really thrives on routine and having the same people in their circle all the time that they feel safe with and whatnot, I really thought, oh man, I don't know how we're going to make this work. This is like a great opportunity, but I know it's going to mean traveling. And so, yeah, the network has been great at allowing me to kind of choose when I travel and when these seasons come out. We're in summertime right now, and my daughter just finished extended school year, so she's home with me for the summer. So I don't have any plans to shoot season 3 until the fall. So that's really nice. But yeah, when I travel, my husband's amazing, and my in-laws live in the same community as us. So we have a lot of support here, which is fantastic. So I try to do everything like over a weekend. So it's like a Thursday to a Monday. I don't typically like to shoot on the days I travel just because it's a lot, especially when I'm going to LA. It's, a 4.5 hour flight, and sometimes there's delays. And so, I travel one day, usually shoot for 3 or 4 days, and then travel home. And as far as the prep goes, I mean, I do it in the airport and I do it on the plane. And it's interesting because that's one question, and it might be one of yours, how do you prep? Like, what do you write down your questions? Do you, and for me, and we talked about this before we jumped on here, you're like, I'm just going to wing it. And I'm like, dude, that is like the best thing ever. The best conversations and the best interviews that I do come really from the ones that I don't do a lot of preparation. I mean, I want to be as surprised as the person watching it at home, right? I don't want to know everything. I want you to tell me something that's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. And then that just, that really just kinds of lights a fire under all these other questions and conversations that we can have. So, I do the typical prep, right? Kind of like what you probably did with me. I just kind of know, what movies were you in? Like, that kind of stuff. But otherwise, it's really just winging it, which is like, I work better that way when it comes to interviews, just knowing enough to start the conversation, but then really truly being surprised and authentic and not having too much of it rehearsed, just kind of seeing where it goes. So
yeah, same with me. I mean, like, I talked to one of my friends, Kimberly Owens. We were kind of like pretty much together along with Ashley in Chicago and stuff. But I was telling her I want to do a podcast, but I don't know. I mean, I need to try to find like a duck-friendly platform because I don't like, I can't hear anything. All my logos and stuff have like headphones thanks to Wendy Darling, who really helped me with all these logos. And I'm like thinking, and then right before my podcast was fun, I was like, I don't think I need headphones. But was like, good point, you dad, right? Pretty much.
Right.
So yeah, but like with the prop, I'm pretty much on the same page that you are. I mean, after looking over all my podcasting, I feel like my weak one or not so great was with, unfortunately, I would have to say Jesse Hutch because I felt like I had to like pull out conversation
Really?
and get them stuff in. I know, but I just really am amazed of how he is a man of faith after what he's gone through and how he perceived life and all different worlds he's been in, like with the student, Heartland, Cancer in a Wheelchair, and along with all of these movies. So I felt like, hey, I need to jump back and how to get in straight with my podcast. And I really enjoyed my podcast with Dexter Hallmark guys. That was quite fun. I mean, I had everything, and then we should pretty much wake up and they talk to me about the Green Bay Packers. I'm like, if we have another hour on their hand, we can talk about it, but unfortunately we don't. But like I said, we still shot the movies and the TV shows and a little bit of their background and then most of the weekend, and I always give them an opportunity if they want to know me better, you can ask me anything. And then that kind of drives you down the podcast.
Yeah. It's interesting because it really is kind of like a two-way street, right? It's like whatever your guests can give back to you. And what I have found, especially with everyone that I've interviewed, especially in the Hallmark niche, they're amazing people. I mean, they have stories other than just what they do on screen, right? I mean, They do charity work. They have amazing families. Some of them have other businesses. I mean, there's just so much depth to these people that it just make it somewhat easy to kind of get them. They just have to be comfortable. And you're going to learn this too. And your podcast is fabulous. I'm just so excited for the whole thing. I really am. And the more you can make them feel comfortable, which you do, you are very warm. And so you make people feel that way. They just start opening up with all kinds of stuff. And I have found that. So, you know, people that I don't think are going to open up, Ryan Pavey being one of them. I mean, I really thought, and I prepped a lot for his first Zoom interview that I did before it was the television show, because I was like, oh my God, he seems like a closed book. Like, first of all, I can't even believe he agreed to do it. Second, I don't even know what I'm going to pull out of him. And it ended up being a little easier than I thought it was going to be. And so sometimes you're surprised by the people that you're thinking, oh, this isn't going to be great. And then it ends up being like the best interview ever. So yeah, I mean, it's just a fun ride. I mean, it is. And I can tell you're having fun doing it, which is what I love. And it's just fun to connect with these guys in a way that you wouldn't typically be able to connect with them, and then be able to share that with other people, right? It's always about the fans and the product that you put out so that they can see a side of these guys and gals that they wouldn't typically see.
Yeah, for sure. And then I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna give it a try with the all the stuff, but during the school year, I probably limit myself. Like, no traveling and making TV shows. I'm gonna be teaching and maybe do maybe 1 or 2 podcasts a month. And family like, do what you gotta do. I mean, if you can't do it, we're not gonna be like, we're not gonna do anything with you now. I'm up for anything. Yeah, that's right. And it's, for me, it's just not about Hallmark. I mean, eventually I'm going to try to branch out to maybe a special needs mom that have you over again and have someone else over and have some deaf actors or deaf, what do you call it, influencers. And then to talk about deaf culture and how they put people deaf with the teachers, whatever they do around an entity. But yeah, I see your point.
Yeah, I love that. And it's all about storytelling, right? And conversation and letting people know that they're not alone. You know, so many, I mean, those special need mom conversations. And I did one with Sarah from Suspenders Unbuttoned. I had her come on my podcast so we could kind of talk about that commonality that we have with our kids. And, you know, it's really just about sharing that story so that other people can hear it and know, oh, I'm not alone in this. Like, she experiences the same things that I do as a mom, or whatever it may be. But then it also shows too, you know, Sarah has a podcast. I have a TV show. You have a podcast. Like, these things are possible even when you have a lot going on in your life. I have a full-time job too. I've been working in the nonprofit world for 7 years. I have a full-time job amongst everything else. So it's possible. I mean, I always tell people, if your dream is to do whatever it is, do it. Age doesn't matter. That stuff just doesn't matter. I mean, there's ways to make it work. And it's true with me, you, Sarah, like all these moms that are just making it happen. And it's so much fun. I mean, it's therapeutic in a way. I mean, this is not a job for me. I love this. You know, I'm not a big traveler. Like, I was very fearful of flying for a very long time. I've gotten better just because I've been flying all over the place. But yeah, I mean, you just do it. Right? You just do it and ask for help when you need it. It's always so important. You know, that was a really hard thing for me for a really long time, was asking for help. And it was a conversation that I had to have with my husband to say, listen, I'm going to be traveling and I know you can handle this, but I still want to talk about it. You know, how is this going to affect your job? And how will it affect Allie, our daughter? And luckily we've been able to make it work. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing about the show, like how many TV shows you tend to film or produce per season? Because I know you have like an off time and then work time, like during the school year because your daughter's in school. So she's not home all the time.
Right. Right. Yeah. So the seasons have been working out to about 6 to 8 episodes a season. So, it was exactly, let's see, June. We're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of Romadrama West Palm Beach. And I think I signed my contract in like July. Our first episodes didn't come out until November. And it started off with the Andrew Walker like double episode in November. And then we really just kind of play it by ear. What's kind of putting a wrench in things a little bit right now is the writer's strike and then the potential actors strike. We're going to go to Canada for season 3. I don't think that's happening now. But I am getting a lot of good feedback from Los Angeles. So I might go, probably will be going back to LA after Labor Day weekend. But yeah, and in between seasons, we try to just recycle what we've done because not everybody sees it when it first comes out, right? And then we release it on YouTube so that maybe people that aren't on Reveal can see it through YouTube. So we kind of try to keep it fresh as much as we can until I can travel again. So it was made very clear at the beginning of the summer that I would not be able to travel over the summer, and that I could travel once again and when she's back in school. And that helps my husband out because at least she's in school for a little bit of the day and he doesn't have to watch her all day. So yeah, so that's how it's been working so far.
Yeah, I mean, I just found out, not just found out, but with the writer strike and the actor strike, I'm just thinking, I was like, these people need to make a living off of these people who are writing or producing. So I'm just hoping things will eventually look up and come into an agreement to make sure everybody gets what they need, and with the traveling, with the podcasting, with the filming, with the filming industry these days. It's just, I'm like reaching out, okay, I gotta check my schedule because the writer's strike, I need to show my support. I mean, not a problem at all. Just get back to me when you can. And I do a lot of follow-up. So.
Yeah. And that's probably, would you say that that's the hardest part of doing your podcast is trying to book this talent? I mean,
yeah, I'm still working on that one specific person, but hopefully the Dr. Hallmark pushing them into the door, into my house. So let's see if that happens.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's so interesting moving from doing a podcast to a television show. At least with the podcast, it's like, oh yeah, I'm home. Sure, I can jump on my phone or my laptop and we can chat. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to be in Los Angeles this day, this day, this day. And, I fly out there, I try to make the most of it. I don't want to just fly out for one interview. So trying to get 3 to 4 celebrities that don't have filming going on, that don't have personal things going on, and will let me come into their house can be very difficult. I've gotten lucky. But it's every season, it's like, oh boy. But with the thing with the writer's strike / actors going on strike, I mean, if the actors go on strike, they're all going to be home. Like no one's going to be working. So it might be an opportunity for them to jump on some of these and talk about what's going on. What do they feel, about the writer's strike and whatnot, and and what projects they hope to get back on once everything is settled and everybody's getting the compensation that they deserve. So
yeah, for sure. What is your favorite moment or favorite memory podcast before coming to a TV show? Yeah, let's start with that. Your favorite memory or your favorite moment or your favorite... Wow, this is happening. It's tough, I know. I'm not calling you out.
Okay, so this is what I think, because this is from the very, very beginning. So when this all started, it was when I was watching The Winter Palace with Neil Bledsoe and Danica McKellar, and Jennifer Wigmore was in it, and she was on my podcast in the very beginning too, and it was a I can't remember who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Gabby from Romadrama. They did like this whole like Zoom thing. They went live and Neil was on the live and like everybody was on, Jax was on the live and everything. So I reached out to Jax. I didn't even really know her. I just reached out to her and I'm like, hey, I'm starting a podcast. I'd love you to be on the podcast as my first guest. And she ended up being my first guest on Valentine's Day for my very first episode. And I was like, is there any way that you can put me in touch with Neil? Because I'd love for him to come on the podcast. He's so funny and, I love his work. And so she goes, oh yeah, sure. I'll reach out to him. And so she texted him and she was like, hey, he just said, reach out to him on Instagram. Like he knows your name now. So he'll respond. And I'm like, he ain't going to respond to me on Instagram. So I remember messaging him and then getting a message back. And that was one of those like, oh my gosh, the guy that I just saw in this movie just responded to my message on Instagram. Like it was one of those moments. And it's so funny because I look back on it now and think, oh, like, woo, big deal. Because now it happens like all the time. But the first time is like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to be able to get this guy on my show. And I remember telling him, oh my gosh, I'm messaging with Neil Bledsoe like right now. Like this is so crazy. So that for me was one of those moments where I was like, ooh, I might have something here. Like this is going to be, and then once I got through my first like 4 or 5, I reached out to Cindy Busby and she got back to me, Jennifer Wigmore, and then she got back to me. And then it was kind of just like, I don't know, this revolving door of these people that were just like, yeah, I'll come on. And I'm like, okay. And it was just so fun. Like I was finally doing something that was just pure fun and entertainment. And that was, but yeah, that first time that I got an Instagram from like someone that I've seen on television, like I was like, whoa, like this is just awesome.
Yeah.
So funny.
Like I thought when I was new to this, I was like, okay, how do I contact these people? I mean, I did all these podcasts with things. I was just like, okay. And that whole thing with Math University and all that, I brought the whole store and I laid everything out on my couch. And Ban would like to do, are you running a bootleg of my store? I'm like, yeah, I'm doubling up the price to charge on that, and I'm doubling it up. Who is the profit for me? I'm like, no, the profit goes to Wisconsin charities, a cat, helping me. Sorry. And then I was like, well, would you be interested in being on my podcast? I know you'd be interested. I would be honored to. I was like, okay. Right, give me a few days to time, and then we'll see if I can get in touch with it. And oh my God, I wanted to go all afternoon with him. He is just something special. I was like, thank you for being my first person appearing on my podcast, not my first, what. But after that, I started going on, and all of my friends were like, did you have to reach an agent or a public? I was like, not all of them. Some of them would just contact directly, but a few of them, I have to go through an agent, like I'm in the process of going, communicating with Willie Kemp.
Oh, nice. That's great.
I was so close last week, but I was not getting up at 6 a.m. for a podcast opportunity. I'm sorry. But hopefully sometime
soon. Boundaries, right? Boundaries. Boundaries.
Are there any TV shows that you really enjoyed? I mean, the experience and different kind of activity you do there, because I know they talk a little what, and you made some kind of cocktail drink with the walkers, and shared sushi with Ryan and Baby, and look at the jewelry making. I was just like, wow, I'm very impressed with that. Working out with just the hot. I'm doing.
I know. I mean, it's
like, go, man, you got it. You in the dome. Keep going, and that inspired me. Working on my lift right now. So thank you.
Nice. See?
And Justin.
I didn't realize that we're inspiring people all the time with this stuff. It's so funny. So with Cindy Busby, who is just amazing. Like she She helped me. Her and Andrew and Nikki were my first 3 shoots and my very first time to Los Angeles. I had never been to California before. So this is my first time going to LA. And I was talking to different people, like, do I rent a car? Where do I fly in? Like, I don't even realize how big LA is. And I'm looking at a map. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And people were like, no, you don't want to rent a car. The traffic is horrible. And then I'm like, oh, but if I fly into LAX, I'm like an hour from West Hollywood. Like, this is crazy. And I started panicking. Like, I was panicking, like, I don't think I can do this. Like this, I don't know. So I emailed. At that point, I did not have Cindy's phone number. I was communicating with her via email. And I emailed her and I said, listen, can you like give me some help? I mean, I looked up a few hotels. I don't know where the best places are to stay, like in LA. Like I really don't know. And I'm starting to panic a little bit. Within 5 minutes, my phone rang and it was an LA number. And it was Cindy. And she goes, first of all, who are you talking to that's scaring you from coming to California? And I'm like, well, friends, but I don't know. And she goes, well, let me just tell you, I'm on the set right now, but I could feel the anxiety in your email. So I had to call you. And she goes, send me a couple hotels that you're thinking about staying in, and I will let you know whether they're good or bad. And I'm glad I did. I mean, one of them was like right on Hollywood Boulevard. And she's like, you don't want to stay there. It is tourists everywhere. It's so loud. You'll never get any sleep. Like, but this one just 2 blocks over looks great. I would just probably stay there. So she ended up taking me out to dinner at the Sunset Tower, which is a very famous little very old restaurant, right actually across from where I was staying. And then probably the most memorable shoot was with her and going to see the Hollywood sign, which I had never seen before. And it was something that I've always wanted to do, was to see the Hollywood sign. And she goes, it's just like a mile hike. It's nothing. Like, it's not a big deal. Kat, okay, first of all, it was high noon. It wasn't the morning time. It was like high noon. It must have been 80 degrees outside, which is unusual.
Water with you?
I had water and a backpack, and it was uphill the entire way. I mean, I was like, I'm not going to make it. And I'm mic'd up. Okay. So I'm sure all my director can hear in his headphones is like dying getting up this hill. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to make it. And once I get up there, my face is going to be so purple that this is not a good situation. Well, I made it. Going down was much easier than going up this hill, but yeah, I mean, I was like, oh boy, what did I get myself into? Like, never again will I go on a hike with like anybody, because it was so hot. But seeing the Hollywood sign with her for the first time, and it was actually a hike that she did every morning when she first moved to Los Angeles. And so it kind of meant something to her too. So yeah, I think that's probably the most memorable of shoots, just with her. She's so awesome. I love her.
Wow. She's on my list. I just like
Good.
her personality and her bubbly. I've watched her with you on the TV show. I've watched her with others. I'm like, she's so cute. She's like Whitney Whitstone. She's like so cute.
Yes, she's adorable. She's adorable. You'll have so much fun with her.
Yeah. So I believe me if I'm correct or not. She was the one that killed all the one-liners compared to Andrew, Nikki, Rusty.
Yes, Jesse, Ryan was pretty good. Yeah, Cindy was like boom, boom, boom. I mean, she knew every single one. I mean, yeah. And that game is so much fun just to kind of see them, like, they like go back into their mind, and I think they probably think, okay, what scene was this? Who was my co-star? Like, what, so I love that game. I love playing that game.
I mean, I'm watching it. I will try to get the movie too. I'll be like,
Yeah.
From that movie. I'm that the very old movie. I'm surprised they will remember us. So
I know.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you ever gonna get to LA for my Tyler hand. I'm done. Yeah, my Tyler hand. Make
He is
sure
good.
you give him Thailand, okay? Because it's not gonna be like, oh my goodness, that's fun. But with you on a couple of other movies. Here's the pilot shade. That was from my boyfriend back, the fifth wedding month. To give him
Yeah.
like some random lines that he
Yeah.
would never, or maybe I would never get, but who
Yeah,
knows?
because
I might
he has some
try to
he
back
has some
on
he
him.
has some right, and he has some pretty famous lines, right? I mean, people when the fans meet them, they repeat them to him. So I can't pick any of those, right? So we'll have to find something. And that's one of the things I do obviously to prep. I have to prep for these games that I play with them. And it's kind of going through, and first I'll look at the trailer and be like, do they say anything in the trailer that's maybe, and sometimes if it's the male lead doesn't say anything in the trailer. It's just the female lead. So yeah, it can be difficult sometimes to find that line. I mean, I'm not trying to make it too hard for them, but put a little like hint in there, like if it's a fall movie or if it's a Christmas movie and they might say mistletoe, and it kind of narrows it down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, some of them have been doing these movies for a really long time. So I'm like, oh yeah, this is from like 2007, and they're like, oh my gosh, that was a very long time ago. But they're pretty good, they're pretty good at guessing them.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say I really liked the episode with Riley. That was a lot of fun. And a lot of emotion too, because I talked about how much Christmas means to her. And
Yeah.
365 days for her. And
Yes.
those little shortbread cookies, the candy cane cookies. Mmm. As
So
I'm
good.
looking at them, they must be so good.
So good. And I'm a real foodie. Like I love food. And that's why there's like a kitchen segment in even if it's just like with Melissa Peterman, we made some box brownies. Like it doesn't have to be some like passed down
Yeah.
family recipe. It can be whatever. But I think, we all have food in common, right? We all eat. And I think it brings out a different side of that celebrity when we're cooking with them. It's just a different kind of, I don't know. It's just different. It opens up the interview rather than just sitting across for them. So yeah, I try to do something in the kitchen with them whenever it's possible. And that's how I pitch it to their agent or to them. I'm like, hey, we're going to play 2 games. We're going to do a lifestyle segment, and then we're getting in the kitchen. I don't know what we're doing in the kitchen, but we're going to make something. And they're usually game for it. So, but yeah, those candy cane cookies were delicious. Delicious.
Yeah, it's like, I'm watching it and just really fun, really fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Okay, now talk about special needs daughter and like how to not change your life, but how to able to adapt to make sure she gets what she needs and make sure she's comfortable and safe. And then you decided to become a parent advocate and advocate for mothers in general, and of course, mothers for special needs children.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I'm lucky to have the support system that I have. That was one thing that when I would talk to other people, especially when Allison was first diagnosed, she was like a little over 2 when we found out that she had autism. And, one of the things that we kept hearing from families of children with special needs, they kept saying, you just have to find your tribe. Like you have to find people that are in the same boat as you, that are dealing with these same things that you're dealing with. 1, for the support, 2, for just advice and resources and whatnot, because you feel very isolated when that happens, because especially for us, we didn't really know any other families that had a child with autism. And then quite frankly, we didn't even really know what autism was. That was a big hurdle for us, is just learning what was autism, because we didn't know. And then, to find out that it's a spectrum and it could mean this, it could mean this, and we don't know. And she's not even 3 yet. So, there's all these things that are going to be changing. And so, yeah, I always made sure that we had support at different stages of her life. And then of course, when she got into school and her school is only for special needs students, then we really started to find people that we could relate to and that she could hang out with without having to constantly say, oh, I'm sorry, she doesn't know, or I'm sorry. I mean, that was the one thing that I was like, I'm done apologizing. Like, I'm done apologizing for her behavior or what she can and can't do. Like, I'm just done. And that took a while for me to accept, because I'm one of those people that does say I'm sorry a lot for like, no, I have no reason to be sorry. It just comes out. Because I don't like to inconvenience people, right? Like, I don't want to inconvenience people. I don't want to make people feel awkward. So yeah, and it's so funny because actually just today we were at the beach and there was a lot of people there, like in the water, kind of right where we were. And when Allie gets in the water, she is like, and I let her scream as loud as she wants to. She's outside. So this is where she can do that. She can splash. She can make vocalizations, whatever she wants. And we get look. I mean, we always do. We get looks. Sometimes when she vocalizes, it sounds like there's something wrong. But I know all of her vocalizations. So I just sit there and they're probably looking at me like, is there something wrong? But I used to be like, oh, I'd go up to other parents and be like, oh, don't worry, she's autistic, like this, or don't do this, Allie, or don't. And now I'm like, no, like, she's happy. Like, this is what she likes to do. Like, if somebody has an issue or they have a question, they can come ask me, but I don't go up to her and start apologizing for stuff. I just don't do it anymore. And that was a really big thing for me. And, and we're lucky because it's not typical with a lot of autistic children that we can change her routine a little bit without it disrupting her behavior. And that is not common. We've gotten very lucky that we can, especially with school being out now, like she's not going to school on Monday, she's just going to be home. So for a lot of kids, that's a huge adjustment that, I'm not getting up, getting dressed, getting in the car and showing up here with my teachers, but I mean, we'll just tell her, be like, hey, it's summertime. You're not going to school again for a couple months, a month and a half, and she'll be totally fine with it. So, but yeah, I mean, she's 13, so we're just going through just being a 13-year-old and a 14-year-old, which is crazy.
Teenager. So you need to stick together.
Yeah, I mean,
my daughter is going to be. Wait a minute. Well, she's going to be 14 in October.
That's Allie will be 14 in October.
Or 20 or whatever. She's like, oh my God.
Yeah. I know.
Teenager. And she's like, I think she became a teenager when she was 10.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, I definitely get what you mean about special needs. And I've had my share with autistic children when I was working at a daycare. 5, 4, 5. I had this one kid. He was so cute. He was just very, everything. Like he would come in to daycare and then he would get a breakfast and order and stuff. And then when he's done, he would take a box of cards and he would line them up. Yep. And then he will shoot them. So if anybody messed it up or to like push the back, he would be like screaming. I don't think, don't touch it. Let's hit them. Let him do what he wants to do. When he's done, he put the back of the box, put it back and focus on the next toy. But really, really interesting. And I was just like, that's when I started to learn about autistic and research more as I become a teacher. And it's really interesting. There's a different range. The beer, modeling, or not too bad that they can manage on their own by themselves and along with support and help. That's exactly how I felt about traumatic brain injury. I mean, when that happened, I was like, where do I go? Where do I start? Because once Taylor told me that, I'm like, okay, we're alone, but not alone. I mean, we're home from the hospital for like 3 months. 3 months. That's how long we went to the hospital for. So I'm like, okay. So I'm asking friends, I'm asking physical therapists, occupational therapists. Where do I start? You go on Facebook. Look on Facebook and find traumatic brain injury support group or parents of kids or people the most preferably can because he was 4 that time. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. And then that helped me out a lot. Through the years, I would share with my husband. At first, my husband was like, no, I'm going to deal with my own way, my way, because the accident had an impact on him more than it had an impact on me because he was driving. So, of course, he had all of that. So I tried to give my support to him without jumping, without pushing, without forcing. So it was a good day. I was like, hey, I learned it from the support group. We should look into this. It was a bad day. It's on me. So I should do it, but I find it really supportive. And if they had the same story like I did, I would explain what I've gone through and what worked, what didn't work, and share them my advice or resources or suggestions. So of course, all of that.
Yeah.
Moms need that. Parents need that kind of support for autistic, ADHD, traumatic brain injury, depression, you name it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's important. It's important. And that's and while social media has its pluses and minuses, I will say to be able to find people that you can relate to, social media is makes it very easy to do that. And so yeah, I don't know what I would have done without being able to find resources like that online. I mean, it made all the difference when looking for providers, when trying to figure out insurance stuff. I mean, there's just so much, and there's no one to help you. I mean, there's literally no one. So just finding people that have, excuse me, that have already done it is really like the key, right? And then just having somebody just to cry to or just be angry, and then someone like who understands all of those different emotions that you go through, especially when your child is first diagnosed. I mean, I'll never forget that car ride home after her diagnosis. It was like, I knew, and what upset me the most about once she was diagnosed was that I knew I would never look at her the same way again. It would always be, now she has autism. And when we look at pictures, or when we'll always say, oh, that's before she was diagnosed. I mean, it's such a bookmark in her life. And I just kind of knew it's never going to be the same again. And that was really, we mourned. I mean, we mourned the loss of what we thought was going to be. And now it's something completely different, and now, she's 13, she'll be 14 on October. And, and really just kind of accepting the fact that, she's nonverbal for the most part. She will never live independently. She'll be living with us for the rest of her life. And what does that look like? Financially, I mean, all different kinds of ways. I mean, every parent expects to be an empty nester at some point, right? And just, and having that second phase of your life, or becoming a grandparent, or walking your child down the aisle to get married. I mean, we're not going to experience those things. And so to also have friends that aren't going to experience those things as well is very comforting, because I have friends with typical kids and kids that are Allie's age, and they're doing things that Allie will never do. Their kids are getting in the makeup, or they have their own phones now, and they're going to dance. Like, that's just not our world. And so to have people that can relate to your world is really comforting.
Yeah. I was at the same for Taylor, that pain that happened, and everything, perspective of life, perspective, family, support system. Just, now I've got to do this for Taylor. I mean, that's what it is right now. And now I'm like, now he's older. He's becoming more independent. So all of that, so it was really a long road. And every year his progress gotten better, and I could not be more proud of him and how much he accomplished in elementary school. Now he's going into middle school, and my daughter has one more going into high school. So she's like, Unbelievable.
Oh, unbelievable. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Is there any now diving into the Hallmark world? Is there any favorite movie that
Oh,
like I I, I have to ask this question. I'm not gonna count to pick one. Go to top 3 or top 5. When do not tell me your favorite. You think, oh, the Christmas movies are my favorite. Just leave it at that. I'm like, okay, Brand, I'll leave you alone.
my favorite Hallmark movie, and it only just happened like a few months ago. I was like, this is it. Like, this is my favorite. So this is my favorite non-Christmas movie. Okay. The Wedding Cottage blew my mind. I mean, first of all, I love Terry Ingram. Like, love that man. That movie, like, I don't even, I mean, that's the kind of movie, like my ultimate movie, like my favorite movie of all time and book is The Notebook. That is my favorite movie of all time. I love it. That movie reminds me so much of that. I don't know why. I think it's just, I don't, but it's one of those movies that I could just turn on and watch over and over and over again and never get sick of watching it. I mean, their chemistry was nothing like I have ever seen between two Hallmark people in my life. I just was like, oh my
That
gosh,
was a
like
good movie. I mean, yeah.
so good. Now, my favorite Christmas movie is Haul Out the Holly. And I'm pretty sure they made a sequel. So I am just like, I love Lacey Chabert. I love Wes Brown, my favorite. I love the comedy that they put in that movie. I live in an HOA, so I totally related to everything about that movie. That's why it was so fun to sit down with Melissa Peterman and talk to her about it. And I love her too. So yeah, that's my favorite Christmas movie, and all like kind of new ones. I mean, I like the
Me and that
older
movie.
things
I
too.
was just like, here we go with Reba again. The Barbara Jean all over again.
So true. I love her. I just love it. Yeah, it
I
was.
watched I used
Love
to
it.
watch Reba. And
Yeah,
that I was after that I like Reba. And I was just like, that Barbara Jean, oh my God. Drop me not.
I know. I
But
know.
then that got her in what the TV show, My Baby Daddy.
Oh, baby daddy.
Baby Daddy TV show,
Yeah,
and then some other movie,
young
and
Sheldon. She
All
does
Out
young
the
Sheldon.
Holly,
Yeah.
and the TV show that she's exactly who she is, and everything she makes. There's
Mhm.
no acting. Maybe
Yeah.
she can
No,
do that. But no.
she is funny, and she's that way when she hosts her game shows. I mean, she hosts all kinds of game shows as well. And yeah, not. I mean, she's not acting. I mean, she is so funny. Everything she says and does is funny, and she has the comedic timing. Like, she's a genius. I mean, she just knows when to do it. And so she was a lot of fun to interview because you can just play off each other. I mean, and we couldn't have scripted it better. I mean, it was just perfect. Perfect.
For me, I would say right between Hallmark movies and Christmas movies, I could just never get sick of the two classics. They're old. It's called The Matchmaker Santa with Lacey
Yes.
and Adam Mayfield. I could never get sick of it. I was just watching it, but I see it come on TV. I was like, my favorite movie. Just go to. And it's the most wonderful time of the year with Brooke Burns, Henry Winkler, and
Yes.
Warren Christie.
Very good. I know.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
Yeah, and of course, I'm not gonna be biased or anything, but my favorite Hallmark movie of all time is It All Went With You.
I mean, I don't even think I knew that. I already knew that
Oh
about you.
yeah, yeah.
Really,
I have the line written all over my head and it's put up a tattoo, and you can't even see it. But yeah,
I love that. It is a good movie. It's a very good movie.
I can never get sick of it. If I should have need some 2 o'clock in the morning musical dance, I just turn on that Tyler scene right there.
I love it. I love it.
Any Hallmark movie that you're like, that should not be a movie, or I can't get into it. Turn it off. But later, do you eventually watch it or not?
Well, that's a very good question. Oh boy.
I know.
I'm trying to just think, because usually if I'm not into it, I just turn it off. And I'm trying to think of what movies I've just turned off, and I'm like, I can't do it. Gosh, I don't know. I probably didn't like them so much that I don't remember the title. That's such a good question.
There's a few of them that
I mean, there's one. Okay, what is the one? There's one, and I think people like always make fun of it, and it has Tyler in it. It's the Roadhouse something. What is that movie? With
Roadhouse Romance.
That's it, Roadhouse Romance. I mean, I watched it, but it's just, for me, it wasn't like a memorable, like, oh, this is great. You know what I mean? So probably that one. I don't know. I can't really think of any others. I mean, I really do enjoy them. I mean, there aren't, especially the Christmas ones. I mean, the Christmas ones are always good. I mean, because I love Christmas in general. So, you know, any movie with that in is always good. But yeah, I guess that one, Roadhouse Romance. I don't know. Do you have one? What's your like, ugh, this movie is awful?
There was one movie. It's a Christmas movie, and I'm trying to remember the exact title, because of course all the titles are almost the same or alike or whatever, but it's not about a Christmas album. That's the good movie. But I think it was about a boyfriend past.
Ah, yes, I know that movie. Yeah, that one was
That one. And I love Ashley Williams and Kimberly Paisley Williams, but their two movies confuse me.
You are not the only one.
I'm watching one. I'm like, oh, cute, good movie, great. And I'm watching the sister movie. I was like, they're doing the same thing. Wait, I'm confused.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that was like a really big conversation on social media. Like, what is going on? Did they just make the same movie over again, and they just think that we didn't see the other one, or what? To be honest with you, I think I only saw the first one. I don't think I saw the second one, and it might have been because everyone kept saying, I don't understand what the second one is. So maybe I just was like being safe and like, you know what, I'll just watch the first one because I really did like it, and not even engage in the second one.
I
But yeah,
watched the second one, and the only part was different. It made me at the beginning and the end. Different guy. But it was cute. It was cute. I like the story, but the two movies, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something. I'm coming back. I'm like, am I watching the right movie? Okay. That's the holiday in the city. Okay, this is the city one. The other one was the movie theater country one.
That's so funny. I love it. I love it. Oh man.
Have any favorite Hallmark pairings?
Ooh, Hallmark. Well, I'm telling you, Brendan and Aaron, I want to see them again. It doesn't have to be a Wedding Cottage Part 2. I just want to see them again. And I really liked him with Jen Lilly in the Valentine's Day one, where they had the pop-up restaurant that they started. I was just talking to somebody about the
Mary one.
No,
that one.
Not a dash. Is it a dash of love? Maybe that's what I think it's a dash of love. I think that's what it's called. Oh
yeah, dash of love.
I love that one. I really do enjoy Jen Lilly. Yes, a dash of love. I like the cooking ones. I know Dara was just talking about this on her podcast. I do enjoy I'm a foodie, so I do enjoy the cooking ones. I always think they make for a really good theme. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a big Brendan Penny fan lately. So I mean, he's on my list. Now he's in Vancouver, so I don't know. Again, I don't know when I'm going to Canada, but he is on my list. So him with like, I mean, I love when they start matching up different people. You know, I love Andrew and Nikki together, but I also like to see them with like other people. I don't know. I love that when they start switching it up a little bit. You know, I don't know. I don't think that Brendan and Nikki have ever done a movie together. So, you know, I would like to see him with a couple of the other leading ladies because he's really good.
That movie
Like
was
he's just,
like the
man, that movie was
quirks,
so
the
good.
banter, the character between.
It was all of it.
We
It's
have a
so,
Hallmark parent.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it was really good. So
Aside from Andrew and Nikki, those two are just like the dream team. I
they're
like
a
them
powerhouse.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are. Who are you? Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see Tyler with that Tyler hasn't been with yet?
Like you said, I like Brendan and Aaron, and I want to see more of Tyler and Aaron and Tyler and Bethany Joy Land from the
Ooh.
Unexpected Christmas. That was just really good. Really good. What else? Andrew and Nikki.
I wonder how
Lady
Tyler.
and Will Camp. I'm sorry, they've been
Oh,
in 2 movies together and they're just
yeah, they're
good.
very good. Very good. I think maybe a Tyler Hines and Ashley Williams duo.
That could be good.
That could be good because
Yeah.
he's funny too. I mean, he has some really good funny moments, especially in
Ashley
Three Wives and a
Williams,
Baby, seeing
one
like
of a
that whole
kind.
comedic thing. Oh my gosh, that would be because I always thought because when I knew that Ryan and Ashley were doing Two Tickets to Paradise, it was like I wonder how that's going to be because Ryan can be very serious and
Yeah.
whatnot. So I was like, I wonder, and that worked out brilliantly. So I think her and Tyler would make for a good
Yeah.
movie. I mean, there's
Like the
so
2
many
Tickets
pairings
to
that haven't
Paradise.
happened that I think Hallmark has the opportunity to really like pair some people up as long as it's the right story. It could be excellent. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You have a lead or do not pair them again.
Oh,
Or
do not pair them
a
again.
chemistry.
Oh boy. I don't know. Let me think. I don't know that I've ever had a pairing that I don't like because when I watch a movie and I don't like the movie, it's not typically because the pairing is off. It's usually just because the story is just the story's not great. Um, but no, I think the movies that I love, I've loved the two actors together. So I don't know that I have any that I'm like, oh God, don't pair them together again. Um, there's a couple movies that I have not seen that I know of a pair that I'm like, I wonder how great that turned out. Not Hallmark movies though. The movie that was just done with Rob Mays and Brittany Bristow, the singing one. I think it's on Up TV. Maybe I don't have that, so I haven't been able to
But
watch it.
Jake,
Yes, just Jake.
not too bad. Not too bad.
Not too bad. I was just,
Not
I'm
something you would thought of. Robin, Brittany, I that Robin, Brittany,
yeah,
Brittany, darling,
right, right.
Robin more
Rob's
like
very, yeah, I don't know. So I'm curious. I want to watch it because I'm curious to see what that dynamic looks like. But that was probably one that when I found out they were working together, that I was a little shocked, and the casting seemed a little just wondering what was going through the casting person's head when they paired them up. But I mean, and sometimes you do that, and you're like, wow, this is like magic, you know. But again, I haven't seen it yet, so I'd like to see it. But yeah, as far as like regular Hallmark, I mean, I think Hallmark's pretty good at knowing who's going to work really well together. So
it's a pretty good
yeah.
movie. I mean, nah, a great movie. It was a good movie. I like the storyline. Brittany did really good. Wow, they're pretty good too. You know, wow, you know, country star, country, not much to say, but I think
Yeah.
they were pretty a good couple, a good pairing for that kind of movie.
Yeah, good. I'm excited to see it. I'd like to see more movies like The Love Club. I thought that was just a really cool series to kind of see the different perspective of each girl that, you know, each friend. I love that. I mean, it would be neat to kind of see that from the male perspective too, like, you know, what that looks like.
That
So
would be
I, I,
funny.
I like that. I mean, I love the different sequels. I love putting 3 leads in one film, like the Wedding Veil series or Three Wise Men and a Baby. Like I love seeing that diversity and the different storylines and the kiss coming sooner and more comedy. I mean, they're really mixing it up. So I'm excited to see what Christmas movies, and hopefully with the strike and everything, they get out the 40 movies that they usually do. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the new Christmas movie is.
Especially July coming up.
I know. I know, it's so soon. I know.
Let me see. I think that all of the questions or facts that came up for that. After that, maybe 5-10 minutes to turn it over to you if you want to know anything about me, frequency buzz, or whatever.
Yeah, well, I kind of want to know more about what your expectations are for your podcast. Like I know who you want on, who you probably haven't had on yet. Like, I know the answer to that. But like who else? Like what, you said you wanted to branch off maybe a little bit from Hallmark eventually. So I'm just curious what that looks like for you.
Nikki. From the very first podcast with fun, I told them that I don't know how many years or how long I've loved Nikki. I mean, every movie she's made, every show, do it like the Curly Caterer or whatever movie. I've been a huge fan of her. I mean, I'm like, she gotta be like this person off screen. And she's been over a lot of obstacles or a lot of life changing from different movies, like with The Gift of Peace when Brendan was going through a tough time with his wife. And the movie was magical. And Taking the Reins when she did with Scott Porter, again, magic because of her father.
Yeah. She's great.
Nikki and Ron. Willie Camp, I mean, I've been a huge fan of him since the Christmas was or not a Hallmark movie. What was that? Flowers in the Attic. Flying Petals in the Wind, a very old movie. He was a ballet dancer. And that one. And I was like, oh, I'm going to start watching more of him. But mostly I would have to say Nikki. And of course Tyler, but eventually, come on. Run the time is right. So Nikki is probably number one. I'm hoping to get on my podcast. I should want to tell her she really inspired me. And I'm sure everybody else with her talent, her advocate for Alzheimer's, and hostess for her son. I would have to say that, Nikki. Hopefully someday too, but I want to maybe you can have her on your podcast, promote the new movies. I thought, oh, she filmed me the new movie right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she's great. She has quite the story. Like, I love talking, and I didn't talk to her about this a lot when I was interviewing her. It was more off camera, but just like her when she was in the Mickey Mouse Club, like when she did all, and she was like really great friends with, she lived with Justin Timberlake's family for a while she was doing that show. So I love like going online and looking up like old like Nikki DeLoach like videos of her when she was little and singing, and like from the really early 90s, and even she was in a girl band group too in the early 2000s, and I can't remember, they had a very unique name and I can't remember what it is right now, but she's had quite the career. And her family is just the story of her boy and her dad and just a lot of stuff. But she's great. I love following her on Instagram. I love like seeing all the the friendships that she has, and And it's just, yeah, she's just a really great person. So yeah, you'll get her on and that'll be a great conversation for sure. She's great.
Yeah,
She's great.
sure.
I love it. So we don't know when the next Romadrama is. And you and I love these fan events, right? I mean, we love going and seeing everyone. I know you or we did not go to Christmas Con that just happened in Kansas City, which looked absolutely epic and amazing. Are you going to the New Jersey one, or are we skipping that one? What are we doing? I've never been to a Christmas Con,
Okay.
period. So
I did a live on my post on Instagram with Debbie and all, okay? Debbie went to the Kansas City Christmas Con and while Kim, my friend Kim, Sylvia, and a few other people, it was smaller.
yeah,
So for me and from other people, I think their experience will be more positive and more appreciated if it's at a smaller location at a smaller event. I am not going to New Jersey Christmas Con.
yeah,
I have a page full of notes from Marnie, Vicky,
yeah,
other people, and no. So I
yeah.
would tell you my husband that I want to go to a Christmas Con, but I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna do the VIP. I will probably do a weekend pass, Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, because I know who are my people. I know who I want. Autograph, selfie, or photo op. I know what I want. But for others, I would just change my word. Hey, how's it going? I'm a huge fan. Hi, whatever. If the one I grab the picture on the sneaky side, fine, whatever. I think New Jersey, it's too big.
Yeah, it's a
It's
big
too big.
convention center. Yeah,
And I feel that the location not convenient enough for travel within the hotel or the airport or cash only. I mean,
yeah,
I brought $250 cash to Ramadama just in case. I did not
yeah,
take cards. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
actually, when I paid the cash, I Venmo you, whatever. So I gave Ashley my cash, and within 20 minutes, she Venmoed me my money back. So I was
yeah.
set for the
Cheers.
whole weekend. It was like both. It was like cash or card. But
Yeah,
that time, it was like COVID, didn't want to have contact or whatever. So I get that. So, and I heard a rumor. I'm waiting for that to be confirmed so I could start planning. So the New Jersey Christmas Con is in December.
right.
There might be a Christmas Con in Ohio,
Oh,
Cincinnati, Ohio. So I have a feeling it's going to be like spring, summer.
yeah,
So I'm gonna go to that one because it's hours away from here. And my girlfriend and I should hop in a car and drive and share a hotel, and it would be like we could drive back because we know
right,
who we want and who we want to spend money on. That's it.
right,
And just hang
right.
out with people. If we're not doing anything, we could tasty without it. Maybe I'll do cool things in Cincinnati, but I'm not visiting the football stadium.
Right. Oh, I hear you.
Uh, But if you want to experience or whatever, Christmas Con in New Jersey and Christmas Con in Pasadena, California, I think this one is a little bit better. It's
Yeah,
more nicer, more flexible. But Kansas
yeah,
City was not too bad from I've heard from a lot of people. They were
yeah,
not like, Rick, put your phone away. They were not
yeah,
like that. But
yeah,
in New Jersey,
yeah. A little bit more
why.
selective.
I'm not sure it's because it's a big location, big space, and a lot of people, and it was smaller. Or
Yeah. Or maybe they just heard of all the complaints and they're like, you know what? Let's just let people have their phones
because
out.
I'm being very vocal about it. Vocal
Yeah,
about
and they're
Christmas
gonna make
Con and
their money.
Ramadama.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to be flexible like that because they're definitely, I mean, it's not going to hurt their profit margin. I mean, they're going to make their money and, so
Yeah.
yeah, I hear you. Hopefully there'll be something soon so that everyone can get back together again, see the fans, but then see their friends. And so, yeah, fingers crossed that something gets on the calendar
For
soon.
sure. Yeah. It should part of me it feels really bad about Ramadrama. I'm sorry, but it worth your money and it's more intimate.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like a few people were like VIP for Christmas Con. Okay, we could get in an hour early and one voucher for
Yeah.
to go with a selfie or autograph. Oh,
Yeah, different. Yeah, so it's very different. It's very different. And I think, and I had told you this before, is that I think there is a market and a space for both of these events. I think they're so different anyway, and I think people like one or over the other, or they just like to go to both for a different experience. But I think Ramadrama itself, the whole event is very VIP. I mean, it's very small. It's very VIP. There's the wrap party and like all that stuff where you're nowhere are you standing in line for anyone. It's just very open and casual, and everyone kind of feels like they're on the same level. There isn't like, oh, this person's better than this person and this, you know what I mean? You kind of just feel, it just feels good. So I think there is a space for that. But yeah, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, so who knows? I mean, I know just from the experience of trying to get a couple celebrities that don't have something going on in their schedule for a few days. I can't imagine what it's like to try and get 15 to 20 celebrities that don't have anything going on this one weekend and to get them all in one place. I mean, that's quite a feat. So yeah, hopefully they can make it happen again because I enjoyed the experience for sure. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I'd love another Christmas, like the Christmas in
card, I was
Chicago. It's
shocked.
fun.
I was
Yeah.
like, because, okay, when they were doing great pictures or Gabrielle, they were doing pictures on Instagram to Drake. I'm like, and Kim, my friend, she goes, I booked the Drake. For the first weekend of this summer, I booked her. Now we should have to wait and see when's gonna happen. I was like, drama in Chicago. My husband like, oh boy. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Chicago. I go for one night and come back home. I mean,
Yeah.
2 hours away. Yeah, I'm going. But
Yeah.
you can see Tyler 2 times in one day. My husband like, it's okay. I'm legally married to you. I love you. You have all of my heart. It was like, really? Yeah. And then
You.
not even a few hours later, I think it was like an hour, 2 hours later, they made the announcement and Kim was like, oh my God, it's the exact same weekend I booked the hotel. And I girlfriend, we're going. We're going. And then
I
my
love it.
mom was gracious enough to purchase the weekend pass for me for Ramadan for Christmas. I only paid for half of it. So I was like, thank you, Mom. And then here we go. So I
Love
don't
that.
know if they're gonna do another. It would be really nice if they did the Ramadan Christmas special in Chicago, but with other celebrities,
Yeah.
not just the three wise man, right?
Right.
The book,
Yeah.
different movie premiere for Christmas. Have them come.
Right. Yeah.
All is simple and it was worth the money. It's
Yeah.
all worth the money.
Always. Yeah. It's a good experience. It really is. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
We're a little bit over time, so going to wrap it up. If you have one or another question before we wrap it up, then
What are your plans for you just went on an amazing vacation to Hawaii for a wedding. What do you any other plans for the summer? What are you doing? You're a teacher, so now we're off, right? We're off for the summer? Yeah.
I am not working this weekend. Every year in April or March, my supervisor, are you working summer course? No, I'm not working summer course. I'm taking off for my own mental sanity and my mental health. and I have to recharge for another great, crazy, you could do it school year, because this year was not bad. It was challenging. And well, I don't know how many times I told you I want to quit, but I didn't quit. But
Good.
it was a while back, and we were not sure about going to New York next month. But then my husband started the family. So my husband and I, we're gonna go to New York this week. I'm like, okay, just 1 week. Yeah, just 1 week. I'm like, okay, you could survive 1 week. I'm like, yeah, I could survive 1 week. It's just that I want to drive there, but I don't want to be in a plane for at least this month.
Yeah.
With that terrible ride home. If I made it home in time on that day, I could have maybe made an impromptu trip to Kansas City. But no, that didn't.
Yeah.
I got home the day before the event. So no, that did not work out. So New York and two house project to complete that the floor and hopefully maybe the kitchen. It just depends on my patience and my laziness.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, I'm so excited that you have this summer off. That's just going to be great. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I can't wait to watch more of your podcast. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, for sure. And if you have any questions about any movie that you have not watched, I'm pretty sure I've watched. Let me know.
Well, you're going to be my go-to then. Once I get a couple people booked for my show, I'm going to reach out to you and be like, okay, so what do we know about this person here? What are the lines from their movies that I need to know?
I don't know if that's going to happen, but if you should fly me out to LA for Tyler, that would be great.
You know how many times I've gotten that offer? I have a lot of people that want to be my assistant for that shoot there with Tyler. That's so funny. I love it. I love it. We'll see. He's a hard one to nail down. So I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Well, I know.
We'll see.
Well, hopefully he will come on for you and come on for me. And some ways I'm trying to be better. I'm trying not to be pushy. But when I'm better though, and then like this, so hopefully Tyler will be like, okay, I'll make it on the KatChat Podcast.
It'll happen. It will definitely happen.
But thank you for coming on for today. And I really hope you have a great afternoon with the family.
Thank you. Have a good summer, Kat.
Yes, you too. Talk to you soon. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.